Now, the latest news comes after Netanyahu said Hamas has violated terms of the ceasefire agreement after handing over the remains of a deceased hostage that had already been recovered by Israeli forces. Earlier, I spoke to Israeli journalist Hananya Naftali about the latest developments. Take a listen. Hananya, thanks so much for joining me today. A pleasure to have you on the show. First of all, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will respond after Hamas handed over human remains that didn't belong to missing hostages. What military retaliation is being prepared, and can the world expect to see further bombardment of Gaza?
Well, it's good to be here with you. I do have to say that it's very devastating right now for families who wait to finally close this chapter and bury their loved ones. But unfortunately, Hamas is in its 1,000, or I don't know, I stopped counting, violation of the ceasefire. I don't know the exact retaliation that Israel is planning, but I do have to say that we have to get this done, bring the hostages, the remaining dead hostages that are being held in Gaza. I read reports that say that Hamas knows where at least 6, if I'm not wrong, hostages are. And we all saw the videos, how they were just in such a disrespectful way. They threw the remaining of this body that they delivered to Israel last night. They threw it into a pit. Then they called the Red Cross and said, "We found a body." And it's all on camera. So this just shows you the true colors of Hamas. And that also explains to all of us in the Middle East that no wonder why countries like the UAE, Saudi, and others ban Hamas and classify it as a terror organization. Because I have to say, if Hamas cared about Palestinians as much as it hates Israel, Gaza would have looked like Dubai, not like a battlefield that we see today.
Senior Hamas officials are calling for more help and heavy equipment to retrieve hostages' bodies buried deep beneath the rubble. And you and myself and the world has seen all the pictures of Gaza and the immense destruction across the whole landscape. Does Israel accept this, and are they prepared to help with the ongoing effort to find those remaining hostages that are still buried in Gaza?
Well, of course, that's a priority as far as Israel is concerned, to bring the remaining dead hostages. I mean, as a human being, I have to say it's just devastating to even think that a dead hostage is being kept in captivity simply because they are, simply because Hamas hates the state of Israel. I have to say that Israel sanctifies life, and that is why we see everything that we see right now, that the IDF, together with the coalition of countries that actually backed Trump's plan, working to bring the remaining dead hostages to burial here in Israel, and that we sanctify life. This is a very important value to us. Unfortunately, Hamas sanctifies death, and it has little to no regard to not only Israeli lives but also Palestinian lives, and that's very, very unfortunate, because Palestinians do deserve a leadership that cares about them more than destroying Israel.
You say that Israel sanctifies life, and that's something you repeated to me more than once in your answer there. But it's predicted 68,500 people have died in Gaza since October the 7th. How concerning is that if you sanctify life, that so many people have lost their lives? We're talking about children, mothers, not just Hamas terrorists, very many people, and Israel continues to bombard Gaza. Is that sanctifying life?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I have to say, this big number that you're referring to is being put forward by the Gaza health ministry, which is run by Hamas. And you would agree with me that Hamas has an interest to inflate numbers and to make Israel look bad, right? But even if we take this number as, at face value, that itself proves that Israel is not carrying genocide, because the Gaza Strip has a population of about 2 million people. So even if you take this number at face value, it proves that in this 2-year war, and we all know that Israel has great military capabilities. When you see even this number, it shows you that Israel goes to great lengths to avoid civilian casualties. And by the way, I have to tell you, I served in the army as a combat medic, and I treated with my own hands Palestinian civilians. So it's very clear the Israeli army has no goal of targeting civilians. We are instructed to not target any civilian. But unfortunately, you see a terror organization that cynically uses Palestinian lives to launch attacks on Israel. So the pointing finger should be at the Hamas terror organization that would rather seek the destruction of Israel than to care for the Palestinians in Gaza.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is actually in court today for corruption, as Israel's reputation on the international stage does continue to deteriorate. We have seen pro-Palestinian protests in the UK, the US, and also many other countries around the world. How detrimental is this global isolation for Israel and also for the US, which has shown unwavering backing?
I think that we see very clearly that the president of the United States, a world superpower that just visited Israel, that clearly shows and proves that Israel is not facing an isolation. When you see the president of such a country like the United States coming to Israel, visiting, look, Netanyahu has accomplished a lot for the sake of Israel and delivering this victory on the seventh front war that we're dealing with. But I think that what you see today and trials, be protests, it only shows the beauty of Israel's democracy. People can protest, people can have their opinions, and at the end of the day, the vote of the people is what counts. So I think that that's what we're seeing here today. Whether the media chooses to focus on one thing, there are a lot and plenty of people around the world and in Israel that are thankful for the leadership of Prime Minister Netanyahu and for the accomplishments that he delivered.
There are also many people that are angry about it and are protesting across the world. But I just want to speak to you a little bit about Charlie Kirk, if I can. He'd long been an ally of pro-Israel organizations, though in the recent months before his death, he did voice frustration about Jewish donor influence in US politics. In text messages that were released after his death, he said, "I just lost another Jewish donor because I wouldn't cancel Tucker Carlson." What do you make of this, and why is Tucker Carlson such a threat? And do you think that Charlie Kirk honestly felt pressure from his Jewish donors?
I think that Charlie Kirk was a staunch supporter of Israel. I mean, he expressed it on almost every platform that he had. Him and I were actually supposed to get to know each other. He was following me on social media platforms, but I have to say he clearly stated that he loves Israel. And so in that regard, I have to say whatever Tucker is pushing or Candace Owens, I think that they don't pose a threat to Israel. They pose a threat to truth itself, because they're pushing conspiracy theories without any factual base to that. And I think it's very unfortunate that the mere focus that they have is on Israel. Meanwhile, you see countries like Qatar that they gift billions of dollars to Ivy League universities across America. And you see China that is trying to expand its influence in the United States. But so I wonder whether Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens, they have foreign interests that, and that is, I wonder if that's what causing them and leading them to bash Israel. Look, it's okay to criticize policies of Israel. It's okay to have your different opinions of Israel, but speak about facts, and it's okay to express your opinion. But when you're pushing anti-Semitism disguised like that, this is not going to achieve any goal other than pushing hate.
So you think Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are wrong in what they're doing, and also talking out about AIPAC and its lobbying of US lawmakers?
Well, in regards to AIPAC, this is it's probably under agenda to focus on AIPAC and try to portray Israel like Israel controls the United States of America. I think that that's an insult to the intelligent people of the United States. That a small country that's over 7,000 miles away from the United States is somehow controlling the United States. We are strong allies. And just like AIPAC, you have other lobbying groups in America, like you have in other democracies, the Chinese lobby, the lobby for environmental causes. So then there's AIPAC. Does that mean that because there's AIPAC, that it has Congress in its pocket, or that it has the United States in its pocket? It's absurd. I think that it's people that believe these vicious lies. They should dig more and understand the truth that Israel is America's strongest ally in the region. We share mutual goals, and also Israel's victory over terrorism is America's victory over terrorism, because at the end of the day, countries like the Islamic Republic of Iran, they don't want to stop with Israel. They see us as an obstacle to taking over the Middle East and then the West, and Israel stands in the middle. We will not apologize for defending ourselves, obviously, and for safeguarding our future.
Journalist Hananya Naftali, it was brilliant to have your thoughts on the show. I appreciate your time with us.